good afternoon, and welcome. Welcome indeed to another edition of the Mark Moses Show podcast, as we're always broadcasting from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. You want more information on Anidjar and Levine? Hey, just go to my website at markmosesshow.com. Now, this guy, he's been a busy man. Busy. You could see it in his eyes right now, and I appreciate him coming on short notice. He's Trey Wallace with Outkick.com. We got to talk some college football. Buddy, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I got 4 hours of sleep last night, which was fantastic. The most I've gotten in probably 3 weeks. It's good, man. Everything's coming full circle, and man, I think we really just got like Penn State hanging around looking for their coach. But that'll come in for a landing soon, I promise. So yeah, wild scenes, man, from Starkville to Oxford to back to the East Tennessee. It's just been a crazy couple days.
What was fascinating to me over the last 48 hours was we kind of felt like Lane Kiffin. We'll start there. All right, he's going to LSU or he's going to Florida. And I'm like, okay, no problem. The emotional reaction from people is what really shocked me, where the casual guy on the street wants to chime in. What are your thoughts on Lane Kiffin going to LSU now?
To be honest, like I thought it was always going to be the fit for him. I did. Like I if he was going to leave Ole Miss, it was going to be for LSU. And I know that is a hard pill to swallow for Florida fans. But, according to my sources, when Keith Carter, the AD at Ole Miss, released that statement like last Friday, so like 9 days ago, Lane Kiffin had already verbally committed to LSU. So I think that Florida folks are trying to continue hyping this thing up, while in the background, I think the administration at the same time was looking elsewhere. And so I think that Lane is going to be an interesting character for LSU. But at the same time, I'd warn LSU folks, this is what he does. He's a short-term rental. And that's how I've kind of characterized him over the last couple of years, to be honest with you. And so looking at it, will he have success at LSU? Sure. They're going to give him a lot of resources. I think he had success at Ole Miss. I just don't understand the talking heads out there when it comes to certain aspects of this whole thing. Even the stuff this past weekend on game day and whatnot, where they're lobbying for him to coach Ole Miss in the playoffs. It's like, guys, what are we doing here? He's not going to be a walking billboard for another team for 19 to a month and a half days. It got out of hand. And I think what I saw Friday in Starkville, was a guy that knew he was gone, but at the same time, just trying to convince folks at Ole Miss, hey, you can't win without me. You got to have me for the playoff. And so it just culminated with a horrible Sunday from a PR standpoint for him.
I want your thoughts from the standpoint of the Louisiana governor chimed in, and that's when I knew it was over for Florida, trying to get Lane Kiffin, because he chimed in saying, maybe the president, Trump, should do this. And then the AD gets let go. I'm putting the quote, he was gone the next day. I was like, Florida can't be this. Then they're giving Brian Kelly the full money to leave. Then where's all this money coming from? Maybe that's the question for you.
Oil money. A lot of people think it's that Raising Cane's money down in Louisiana, but it's actually, it's Exxon money. They got an oil plant like 6 miles away from campus. So, they've got it. The problem was, I was about to say something else. The problem was the governor wanted to come out and complain. That's a better word to probably say on air, about the Brian Kelly situation. But a lot of people seem to forget that the LSU Board of Supervisors approved that Brian Kelly contract, 4 years ago. So what are you complaining about? And now you're paying Lane Kiffin $13 million a year. Oh, and then by the way, you're going to give him bonuses that Ole Miss would have owed him for the college football playoff. Meaning, if Ole Miss wins their first round game, LSU is going to pay Lane Kiffin $150,000. If Ole Miss were to somehow win the national championship, LSU is going to pay him $1 million. He's getting everything that he would have gotten at LSU. At Ole Miss. So good negotiating tactics by Verge Osbury. But the whole thing, like you brought up, like you had the governor attacking agents in the world, attacking Scott Woodward, the former LSU AD, during a government shutdown press conference. talking about SNAP benefits for residents of the state. Like, you can't make this stuff up. So I'm telling you, man, it hit another level. And then when the governor Landry had a conversation with Lane Kiffin, it was a wrap. It was over. He was going to go to Baton Rouge. And I think this whole facade that he put on over the last, he was never mulling a decision to stay at Ole Miss. He was mulling, how am I going to talk my way into coaching in the playoffs? There's a big difference.
What does this say about the program at Florida? And you don't have to hold back, because I'm not holding this. It's not a top job now. It's not an LSU. I'm sorry. If it was, Lane Kiffin would have gone to Florida.
Two things can be true at the same time. I love Jon Sumrall. I think he's a great football coach. And I think that he would have been a great hire for Auburn. Okay. Maybe even Ole Miss. But for Florida, this is a disaster. Scott Strickland should not have been allowed to hire the new coach. Scott Strickland could have had Lane Kiffin last year if he'd have probably had the cojones to fire Billy Napier, which he should have done. Lane Kiffin was prepared to be the Florida coach last year. The boosters wanted him. The money was going to be there. You were going to have the NIL resources, but they waited. And Scott Strickland is just kind of an iffy dude, man. And so Lane Kiffin, when they met the 2 days before the Citadel game versus Ole Miss in Oxford, Scott Strickland and Lane Kiffin met. It just didn't go well, man. And you had Scott Strickland wanting to tell Lane Kiffin that, hey, I'm going to bring in an NFL GM to handle all of this. You can be the coach. Lane Kiffin's like, wait a minute. I'm going to bring my own guy. Why the hell would you bring in some NFL guy to run our organization? I think I had this right from a college standpoint. They fumbled this entire ordeal. Florida fans have a right to be agitated. That's why there's no excitement for a press conference on Monday about Jon Sumrall. And by the way, like I said to start this answer, I think the world of Jon Sumrall. I think he is a great coach, but I don't think Florida's sitting around. They are the stepsister now to LSU. You just proved that point. And so I don't know what this is going to look like over the next 8 months, 9 months, 10 months as we get towards next season. But this is going to be a hard sell. I said this to somebody before really the coaching searches kind of went crazy. I said, somebody's going to hit a double and they're going to try to sell it as a home run. That's what Scott Strickland and Florida are doing right now. They hit a double. They're trying to sell it as a home run. It's not going to work for the fan base. And I promise you, there's going to be a lot of folks out there that say, okay, you want to raise NIL funds? You want me to donate? Why? Why would I? You have struck out twice now. Well, hell, I could go back 3-4 coaches at Florida. And so, I just question the leadership at the University of Florida above Scott Strickland to give him the ability to go out and make this hire. And again, that's nothing against Jon Sumrall because I think he's a really good coach. But, man, they fumbled this thing. And when you have so much expectations, like, I know I'm going long here, but here's the answer to this. When Florida met with Lane Kiffin's reps in Hammond, Louisiana, and it was put out there that meeting transpired, where do you think that came from? It came from Scott Strickland in the athletic department. They wanted that out there. So what you did was you just kept raising expectations, and then you weren't even in the game. You could have been in the game last year, but you screwed that up. So I just feel like this whole thing for Florida has been a mess. Now they got to sit in it, and Scott Strickland's going to have to answer for it here down the line sometime soon.
Is it weird that this happened 4 years ago as well, where LSU got Brian Kelly, and then the Gators had to get Sunbelt Billy? Like, are we in a rerun? That's what I'm confused on.
That's exactly where you're at, man. Like, I think that when you really break it down, you went out and did the G5 thing again. Now, I think Jon Sumrall is a better coach than Billy Napier, and I don't think he's going to have 185,000 staff members inside the building trying to run the program at the same time. But also, from this is just a perception standpoint. Perception rules when it comes to college football, okay? So Florida fans are sitting over there watching Lane Kiffin get introduced on Monday afternoon and watching him get on the plane and off the plane Sunday afternoon. And like, he leaves Oxford with birds in the air from people, and then he lands in Baton Rouge, and it's a round of applause like he's George Clooney making an appearance at the Sundance Festival. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's just two different spectrums here. So and I would make the argument that Auburn made the better hire because of the situation with Alex Golesh. And so that's what you're really looking at here is you gave Florida fans no hope for the offseason and for next year. And so, it's not like DJ Lagway is going anywhere. He's locked in contract-wise. He's locked in at Florida. But I am curious to see what happens with other players moving forward and staff members down at Florida.
Does Lane Kiffin have to win right away?
Yes, absolutely. You can't come out and lose 3 games next year. You got to go win now. He set himself up for this. Like, this is it. Like, you have to go win now. You have to be in playoff contention next year. And I'm not talking about when we get to 38 teams in the playoff. Yes, I'm exaggerating there, but it could be 24. I'm saying you have to be in playoff contention next year for the 12, which I think we're going to stay at for one more season. And you have to be contending for a title. Point blank, period. That's it. Because if not, get 3 years down the road with 3 straight seasons of 3 losses. I'm telling you, they'll run his ass out of Baton Rouge just like they ran Brian Kelly. So I just, good luck. Go win. I think he's going to win. But at the same time, man, you screw up and you lose a couple, like, it's going to be bad. Like, I wish I could go ahead and put my media credential in request now for the next season's game at Ole Miss because I just go ahead and do that just to line that up. Probably going to go ahead and just book my hotel to get it over with. But at the same time, man, he does have to win, man. And if he leaves or stays in Baton Rouge with anything less than a national championship appearance and maybe an SEC title or 2 down there, this is going to be looked at as a failure, and rightfully so.
I feel bad I'm going to say this to you, but I will. I feel like the last 24, 48 hours have been more interesting and exciting than the last couple of weeks of the college football season. Is that wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, this past weekend, rivalry week, hate week, I think Friday night's Texas A&M game, that was fun. That was fun. The Iron Bowl gave us something to watch Saturday night, really, because we were hoping that a lot of people were hoping, I'm not going to say everybody, that Alabama would lose and they'd put Ole Miss in the SEC title game, and then this whole drama would go on for another week. But I think you're right, man. Like, the coaching carousel, like, think about it this way. We had Arkansas, Auburn, Ole Miss, LSU, Kentucky. I know I'm probably missing one because it's been a couple of days. Tulane is now going to be open. Penn State still searching. Well, we had all that happen on a Sunday. Like, Mark Stoops is about to get $38 million to walk away. Now, Kentucky's going to have to do like a payment plan to take care of it. But at the same time, like, we had Michigan State. Dude, Michigan State fired Jonathan Smith, and they had Pat Fitzgerald lined up an hour and a half later. Like, this is crazy talk. This is nuts. And here's your little tidbit. We ain't done yet, buddy. There's going to be somebody that's still in the CFP, in my opinion, it's going to take another job, and the domino effect will continue. We ain't done.
You know what's funny? In all of this craziness, that Tulane coach who's going to go to Gainesville, is he coaching on Friday night for a chance to maybe go to the college football playoff?
Yeah, and then he's going to coach. I don't know if they beat North Texas. That's going to be a fun game to watch, no lie. And you have to remember the North Texas coach. I know you do, but I'm saying North Texas coach has taken the Oklahoma State job. So you got 2 coaches going up against each other that are going to be in different spots next season. So, but North Texas isn't going to make the college football playoff if they win that game. Jon Sumrall will. And so, and that's why it's been like that also, brother, that's why it's 2 different situations between like what's going on with Florida and LSU. Florida doesn't care. Florida looks at it as good promotion that Jon Sumrall could be coaching in the playoff. Ole Miss was like, I'll be damned if I'm going to be a walking billboard for LSU for the next 3.5, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, depending on the run that they go on. So, yeah, it's gonna be fascinating, and he's gonna have to handle both things, both jobs I'm talking about at the same time, which he will. That's why you have a GM and you send some of the coaches to Gainesville to get things going in your ops guy. But yeah, it's fascinating. Friday night, Florida's new head coach could be winning a conference title game and then coaching in the playoff. And and we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, man, like all of this, Mark, dude, we've known each other for a long time, man. And this, I think you would agree with me. This has probably been the wildest 6 weeks we've probably had to cover since 2021 when Mario Cristobal left Oregon for Miami. Brian Kelly left Notre Dame for LSU. Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma for USC. Like, this has been wild, man. And I'll say it again. We ain't done yet.
I will say this to the Gator fans. Go look at the press conference from months ago when Tulane was angry at Northwestern because I don't know if I believe any of this story, but like they wanted to wear the jerseys in honor of Hurricane Katrina from 20 years ago. So Northwestern wouldn't let them. So then they kicked the crap out of the Wildcats. And he was out there, I'm doing this for New Orleans. I like that. The Gators need a little like edge to them.
Yes.
You like that as well.
Yeah. And here's my advice to Florida Gator fans that are listening. Take everything that Scott Strickland has done and take your emotions out of the Lane Kiffin thing, which I understand it's very, very hard to do.
Yeah.
But realize you're getting a hellfire and brimstone head coach down in Gainesville who doesn't take crap from anybody and probably has a good chance to win. I know that's hard to take right now because of the last 3.5 weeks where you thought you were getting Lane Kiffin. But I think when the dust settles, you're going to see a fiery coach at spring meetings. I think you're going to see it in press conferences this week. You're going to see it definitely Monday afternoon. And at the end of the day, if he doesn't have success, there's only one person to blame, and that's Scott Strickland. Like, don't take it out on the new guy because your next 3 to 4 to 5 years depend on what this guy can do within the Florida athletic department in the football building. So it just, it is what it is, man. Like, this is just a crazy cycle we're in, bro.
All right, real quick, and I appreciate you coming on. We're here with Trey Wallace. So the Miami fans, God bless them. I know many of them. I live here in Florida. I know. Dude, they have been complaining. We haven't even gotten to the playoff yet. And they've been complaining and complaining. I mean, I'm like, look, don't lose to Louisville at home. What are you doing? Like, you can't. They've been in the ACC since 2004. They still can't win it. So who's that to blame? What are your thoughts?
No, I think it's a little bit. I understand the win. I understand the Notre Dame argument. That's not lost on me. Okay. I get that part. But at the same time, you went to SMU and lost. You lost on a Friday night to Louisville when we didn't know what Louisville was at that time. You know what I mean? Like we didn't. And so while I have some sympathy in regards to this playoff stuff, I think it does kind of work out at the end in some form or fashion. But man, like, you can't complain as much as you do when every single season we're sitting here like, all right, it's Miami's year, baby. They brought him back. They're spending a lot of money on the talent, the transfer portal. They're going to get this thing right. And then, bam, you're in this spot. Like, you put yourself here. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it just, they can complain and they can whine about the CFP committee all they want, but don't lose on the road to SMU when we're not having this discussion right now, or don't lose at home to Louisville. And we're not, it's like them complaining about losing to MTSU a couple of years ago. Like, don't lose these games and this stuff doesn't happen.
You're absolutely right. Joe Zagacki, voice of the Hurricanes, he's going to kill me for this, but I'm sorry. Like, you have to win these games. I'm rooting for Virginia. They have been a great team all year. I hope they beat Duke. They'll go to the playoff. The other one they don't think about is, hey, if Tulane wins, doesn't the group of 5, don't they get a spot? Forget Notre Dame. I mean.
The chaos happens on Saturday night when Duke wins a squeaker against Virginia. And not only does Tulane get in, but James Madison from the Sun Belt gets in. This is a possibility. Like, folks out there trying to dismiss it a little bit. The ACC's putting out their propaganda and whatnot. Like, I get it. I get what they're doing. But if we have the college football playoff committee does not have to take an ACC school. They just have to take the 5 or they just have to take the highest ranked conference champion. There is a slight chance that the ACC is left out if Duke wins the title. So, like, I know that sounds far-fetched for some, but this is reality. Like, and by the way, this college football playoff committee has been drunk since the first week that they came on the air, because I can't figure out what the hell they're talking about. I got no idea what Hunter Yurachek is saying every single week, and these stupid data points that they keep talking about. Like, I'm lost. I can't wait to hear what they say on Tuesday night, and I'm being sarcastic when I say that. So yeah, man, we're at the point. We have 2 more shows. We got Tuesday night ranking, and then we'll have Sunday's ranking. And I expect a little bit of chaos to happen in between then.
Where are you going to be this weekend?
I'm making that decision today.
You're like LeBron. Where are you taking your talents? Where do you want?
See, the crazy part is Alabama, Georgia, and Atlanta. There could be a scenario where if Georgia beats Alabama, let's just say 10, 14 points, Alabama doesn't look as sharp. Does the committee leave Alabama out? I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying I don't know what this committee is going to do because they're data points. Okay. The other one is Indiana, Ohio State. My biggest thing for that one in the Big Ten is whoever loses that game is not dropping out of the top 4. They're still going to get a first round bye. Sure. Do I think it's going to be a fun game? Yes. But I think the storyline, I mean, it could pull me to Arlington and going to watch the Big 12 title game. Right. So, or I might just find myself pulling the worst possible scenario in the world and going to watch Virginia and Duke play in Charlotte for an ACC title. So, no, save me the craziness. I'm either going to be in Atlanta or Indianapolis, and I'll make that decision sometime today.
I think the whole country is going to be rooting for Indiana on Saturday. The whole country. This like the first. They've been around for 100 years. This is it.
Yes, and they also want chaos in the ACC game, so they would want Duke to beat Virginia. Like this, I'm just like we're set up for a crazy weekend. James Madison trying to finish it off in the Sun Belt Conference. You've got the AAC with North Texas and Tulane. Like this could get the Big 12 title game, brother. If Texas Tech beats BYU, does it drop BYU out of the college football playoff? Because then at the same time, if BYU beats Texas Tech, they're both getting in. So the Big 12 could end up getting 2 spots. We're just like, if folks don't think Sunday is going to be a little crazy, I'm just telling you, get your hat on. It's coming.
What's funny over the last couple of years, the Big 12 title game is always exciting. It's always a competitive game. Always.
Absolutely. And there's a chance that I'm not reporting anything here, so people on social media don't go crazy, but the head coach of BYU right now could be the head coach of Penn State by next week. Just throwing that out there.
Trey Wallace, Outkick. Follow him on Twitter. Get all of his stuff, outkick.com. Thanks for your help and enjoy the weekend. All right, man?
Buddy, hope you have a great week, dude. Always appreciate coming on with you and look forward to seeing you soon.